Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Sister Wisdom Wednesday. Today, I have with me my good girlfriend, Mrs. Shira Palmer. Welcome,
Hello.
Shira.
Hello, hello.
Mm-mm. Alexa, off.
Alexa says she was the good girlfriend too.
She like, welcome to my TV recommendations. I'm going to start over.
That's perfect. No, you need to keep that.
My goodness.
That's the perfect icebreaker.
That daggone Alexa. Anyway, now that Alexa has gotten her mind together,
She wanted
um,
to be part of the sister circle. You just have never involved her.
she don't need to be part of no sister circle. She needs to know her place. Okay, so today it's Valentine's Day. Of course, I got my flowers, I've got my red blouse on. It's love day. And a lot of people always have all these big expectations surrounding Valentine's Day. So, do you have big plans?
I have no idea. I was told that I asked too many questions. So that just
Oh,
means that he has a plan and just follow suit.
well, you know what? I love a man with a plan
Yeah.
because a man without a plan gonna lead you to hell.
Well,
So,
I normally, he says, I always try to figure out what's going on. He's not I won't say he's not. He's gotten better. I've schooled him on how to surprise because normally he'll do something. He's like, "Well, what you looking for?" Well, you kind of said it right there. So,
I mean, if he gonna leave it out, you're gonna see it.
right,
So you can plan, but you have to be stealth.
pretty much. So he's getting better at stealth. I even gave him a list of people if he needed to surprise me. These are the people you call because you're asking me to invite people to something that I'm not supposed to know about. So, yeah.
Right. So, what do you think about how society views Valentine's Day and all this hoopla? I know most men, they always think that, oh, Valentine's Day is just for women and it's just for society to get men to spend more money on jewelry and flowers and chocolates and dinners and all these things. What is your take on it?
I think it's grandiose, that's for sure. It's been kind of just blown up somewhat out of proportion because people are spending more and more. It's like kind of like somebody called it the second Christmas or the first Christmas because you have
Mm-hmm.
Christmas and then you have like this month in between and then boom, here's this again. So some people try to keep it simple and some people just go above and beyond. What I didn't get at Christmas, I better get for Valentine's Day.
I mean, people definitely do try to make up because, I don't know.
They do. Again, it's like I've heard somebody actually say, "What I didn't get for Christmas, he better get me. I didn't get that ring for Christmas. I better get it for Valentine's Day. That diamond, I better get it for Valentine's."
I see a lot of people out there, always trying to, get the flowers together and all that. The store is definitely like, so is there a gift like in your entire life of having Valentine's Day celebrations? Was there ever a gift that you got and you was like, you did not put any thought into this?
Yeah, because I think he just went into my Amazon cart and bought what I was gonna buy for myself.
Oh, who does that? He's like, well, at least I know
Somebody
she's
that
gonna like it.
right, somebody that had access to your cart is just like, oh, you're ready to hit send and buy, and it's like, oh, thanks. I already bought that. Actually, we both bought it. He bought it before me, but he did it where I don't even know how he did it where I didn't see that he bought it, but I hit bought it and both of them came at the same time.
There you
So
go.
it was
So, well, did you technically buy it? Was it tied to your credit card?
no, his card was on my account, so
Oh,
he
okay.
bought
That's what's up.
it. Yeah.
That's how to do it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the men? Like, do you think that they get a lot of flack when it comes to Valentine's Day and the things that they should do?
I think they do because there's a lot of them that have pressure where you have a lot of breakups right before Valentine's. You have them before Christmas and before Valentine's Day because she gonna want this, and this, or their expectations of what they think you want, not necessarily what you want. It could be where we're dating and that person's dating and they think that she wants more, so they break up with her.
Yeah,
Whether
I
it be
did have a
Christmas.
friend that did that. He's like, well, it's almost time for us to break up. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't have no money and I don't want to buy her nothing for Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
I'm like, why can't people just like come to a consensus that we're just not going to do gifts for Valentine's Day?
Cook dinner and get some construction paper and make a card. I am that person that is sentimental about a card. It's not about the gift as much as it is about the card. If you put some thought in it and it wasn't just,
Exactly.
even if you bought a card at the store, if you wrote something in it and it was a genuine message to me, or you thought about, okay, these, because some of these cards are on point though. They
Yeah,
say all this stuff and you picked this card because you took the time to think about it and this is what you define me as. That's perfect. But everybody thinks that you just need this extra. I'm gonna give me a MacBook for Valentine's Day.
good
No.
gosh. Yeah, that's a lot. And some of these stores, they really sell some nice things too. I mean, you
Mhm.
don't have to go real expensive. I mean, you
No.
listen, I love my stomach. I would appreciate you get me a good ribeye or a good tomahawk steak, some baked potatoes, a salad,
Mhm.
boom. I'm good.
Cook me a meal. Tell me,
Cook me
look,
a meal.
feed
Just
me.
put something in it. I just want you to put some effort in it. Don't just
Mhm.
go out at the last minute and just like pick up anything that's left
Yeah.
over or picked over. You know,
Yeah.
like here Kroger's has a good floral department.
Oh, they have a wonderful floral department. And I say
Yeah,
this because when I was getting married, bouquets, you go to the bridal store, she said $375 for my bouquet. Kroger's $50 for the
there you
same
go.
bouquet.
Sold.
And people don't think about those things because they're thinking, go to the flower shop, go here, go there. Kroger's
Yeah.
has flowers. I mean, a lot of the grocery stores, but Kroger's, they do a phenomenal job with their flowers.
Their flowers
So,
are amazing.
so
And
why
they're
wouldn't you
fresh.
trust them to? Yeah, and why wouldn't you trust them to make arrangements? They do flowers and they have a specialty, and why wouldn't you try it? I showed that lady
Exactly.
that picture. She said $50. I was like, yes,
That's in the budget. That's in the
yes.
budget for sure. And you can
Mhm.
go to Kroger's, you can get your nice little floral bouquet. You can go pick you up a couple steaks from the
Mhm.
same store,
From this, all of it, one stop shop.
a one-stop shop. Come home, light up some candles, put a nice little tablecloth on the table, like just put some effort into it. And it doesn't have, I feel it doesn't need to be just one person. I think, we could just come to a consensus that we're just going to dress up the house and just have a good night.
And do it
Break out the
together.
Christmas lights if you need to, just the clear ones, just to brighten it up a little bit.
Look, when we got married, our first actually was go because his birthday's in January and we're leading into that. Had an air mattress, blew that joker up, dressed it like it was the bed, and I had like a backdrop hanger. So I took that, had the little lights that we had, it, like you said, the little kind of the warm setting there,
Mhm.
put that up there, put my little sheer curtain. Hey, put it in front of the big giant TV. We had the movies. I did finger foods. I just did
Exactly.
everything, made like a charcuterie board and did some little finger foods and we ate and had our drink. And of course, he got a little excited about the movie, drank a little much wine and went to sleep. So it was happy Valentine's. Hey, it was good. But
Exactly. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be
no,
big diamond tennis bracelets. I mean, a girl loves
I
some
mean,
jewelry,
I'm all about
I mean, if
accepting,
that's
but
what you want to do, I mean, that's on you, but I'm not going to pressure you. A
yeah,
girl ain't going to turn down diamonds.
no, if you're gonna give me that, I will accept it. I mean, because I
Like,
don't
who
want
does
your
that?
feelings to be hurt.
Right.
But it's not a must have. I
It's
just
not a
feel like
must have. It's
the
not.
simpler the better. Just even if it was, I read something somewhere where the girl did what did they she called it the date around the world. They did appetizers one place, drinks another place. They did dinner somewhere and then they did dessert somewhere else. But it was real simple. And she said they didn't spend a whole lot, but it was just the fun of being able to, it was adventurous. You weren't just sitting here like, okay, I'm eating this meal. What are we
Mhm.
doing next? And you know, and then you have some people on the female side of it. There's times where you get somebody that buys, they may buy this and buy that. And we all seen the crazy movie where it's like, which side of the menu do I eat off of? What is he gonna want after this? But I just feel like, you have to think about what you want and it's what you give. Because some people give some crappy gifts and then they want something phenomenal. So
Yeah, exactly. Or some people think, well, what did your last man do? Did he do anything for you? And so
right.
now, I don't have to put out a whole lot. You should just
Mhm.
take what I'm giving you. You should just take anything because you came from nothing. You can
Yeah.
only go up from here. I don't like that. Just put your
And
effort into it, dude.
but see, social media sometimes, and I don't hate social media. I mean, I love watching some of the stuff, but some people, I don't think it's clicking where it's that's something for show, because you can see somebody and be like, man, she dressed so good and walk in the house and it's a hot mess. But they tend to think that I need to look like this. Oh, I need to, everybody this zaddy this, and I want to I want to be a sugar baby
Zaddy.
and all this. Look, let's meet together. Let's be able to do what we can together. And at that same point, I ain't worried about him taking care of me. I want to make sure that if either one of us go one way or the other, hey, we can still balance and be where we are versus having to go somewhere else. But,
Exactly. And
you
I,
know,
I think Valentine's Day kind of like puts a lot of pressure on couples in their relationship. And then what do you think love languages? What role do you think love languages like play when it comes to
ooh,
like gift giving and these special holidays like Christmas? And of course, now we're talking about Valentine's Day. And
mhm,
this is like a heavy gift day. So what do you think
mhm.
like you
The
know,
love languages,
the love
you have some
languages play into that?
you may if I mean, if you're with a giver, you're gonna get, that. But at the same time, you know, the expectation of I better get this, I think is a big thing with some people. I expect to have this. See, I see this, and they're sending the thing or the Cash App thing. I want money to be able to buy this purse that's this, and it's like, yeah, because Valentine's Day falls around tax season, so people are looking at, oh, I'm getting some money, and I
Yep.
think that's where the stores play in too, because they're like, look at this diamond, it's on sale, even though it really isn't
Hmm.
on sale. It's kind of up. They moved it up, brought it back down, and yeah, but I just
They
feel
brought it
like
right back down to the regular price it was
to the
last
regular
week.
price. So you thought it was on sale, but it really wasn't on
It
sale. But
wasn't.
love language as far as gifts, people's acts of service. I think I like knowing I'm a giver, but I like to make sure that what I'm giving, because you may get a gift and it may not be what that person wants. So know your partner, those are things that you pay attention to. If it's something that they like, hey, my husband is, the woodsman. He loves the woods. He loves his wood to do. I mean, he got a new machine yesterday. I'm like, Lord. So we have the laser. He has his lathe. He has all these different things. So he's building. But you want to get him something. So him, I mean, he'd be happy with a Home Depot gift card. You can give him a Visa gift card.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
when we go out, he'll dress and do whatever. So get him a sweater or something simple. But I don't feel like you need to just don't break the bank trying to do this, because it's just a day. And if you truly, truly love somebody, it's not about that day, it's all year long. So,
Exactly. Now, let me piggyback off that. Let me do that on the flip side. When men say, "Oh, I don't have to spend all this money on Valentine's Day because, I love you all year round." Okay, are you giving me flowers all year round? Are
right.
you
True. True.
are you spending the time with me all year round? Are you giving
Mhm.
me just gifts just to let me know that you're thinking about me? You can't
Mhm.
use that excuse if you're
True.
not doing things all
On
year
the
round.
regular. Yeah,
Right. Be like,
because
oh,
you have some
Valentine's Day,
people,
I love you every day. Okay, then you need to show me every day. The same
right.
Valentine's Day. If we're not gonna do nothing on Valentine's Day, that you need to spread that Valentine's Day out.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
Period.
I
Put
mean, I love
effort
you.
into it.
Love me and wash the dishes.
Love me and cook? Because
Right.
sometimes it just be so mental. You get caught up. Like I work remote. I
Mhm.
work remote a couple days out of the week, and sometimes, man, that it's a mental thing for me to like have to get a meal plan together sometimes because you get
Mhm.
so caught up in your work and you're like, it's 5 o'clock. I
Right.
forgot
I
to
gotta
take
cook
something
something.
out. I done
I
had
didn't take
5 meetings today.
Mhm.
I didn't take nothing out. And then you feel so much pressure, and then you're like, it's
Now
like
I
what,
gotta leave
man,
the
gotta
house and
eat.
go buy something to
Right.
fix for you because I didn't take anything out.
Exactly. We don't want to eat at 9 o'clock.
Right. But
So
yeah,
I think your points that you touched on were really good.
yeah, because I mean, you do, and I mean, and again, Valentine's Day doesn't have to be monetary. It could be, hey, like you said, cook a meal. My husband can cook his butt off, but then they kind of smooze you and tell you, but yours tastes so much better. It's like, well, you know what? How about you cook this better? So, hey, can we have this for that? And I
Oh,
mean, he'll
I'm
cook.
I'm down with us cooking it together.
And we do that
Yeah,
until
let's
it's like,
just cook it
well, I'm
together.
gonna put this on here. well, I fix mine like this. Well, how about you fix it? But it's funny because we have fun in the kitchen to be able to make that, to make that meal. And I like that because it adds something to it. There's a little bit of, there's some romance with that. 'Cause it's like, okay, we're making this together. Something that you
Hmm.
normally would be busting your butt on this side of the kitchen, that side of the kitchen, trying to make sure stuff's done. He's there to, here, I'm gonna fix this. You stay on your side. And, no flour, no nothing that thrown in the kitchen because somebody gonna have to clean it up. It ain't gonna be me. But he
Exactly.
does a good job. Now because I work full time. I get my couple of days of every pay period to do my work from home, but I go to school full time. So it's like, hey, so you might be hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
like,
cook
oh, I
something on the
gotta feed you,
weekend.
huh?
Yeah. I mean, I started thinking of quick things, but then it's been times where I say, hey, what do you want to eat tonight? That's okay. I'm gonna eat what I eat. Don't worry about it. What do you want to eat? Or I'm making this. You want something? So I mean, it's been very helpful with that. So that's what I look when I say Valentine's Day, those little things that you're paying attention to those things versus it being just the day. I'm be nice to you because it's Valentine's Day or it's your birthday or
Yeah,
it's
I don't
Christmas.
want you to do it for me just because you feel obligated. I want you
Mhm.
to do it because you want to do it. And the day shouldn't be like, oh, I gotta be nice to my wife today.
Right.
Oh, I gotta get her something nice so she don't feel bad,
Mhm.
or let me get her something so that her little girlfriends don't be like, oh, your husband ain't got you nothing,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
there are people like that.
It is. I mean, there are some people like that with their marriage period. We went through a little kind of like a retreat thing, and they gave us a gift box. And you're like, what's this? So the thing that we did with it was your gift that represented your marriage. So you had to treat your marriage accordingly. Treat it as the gift that it is. But some of us, he gave us a little piece of paper to put, do instructions, and some people were to write on their box, which means we decorate it, we do all kinds of things to it, but treat it like it's supposed to be treated.
Mm,
Somebody had to go put it on the stove on the back burner. What do? You put your marriage on the back burner, and everything around you is more important than your marriage.
right,
Some people put that box on the shelf, and that meant you put your marriage on the shelf for display because it looks good to other people, but what's really going on in the background?
right. It's being neglected.
Yeah, and then like our instructions were to give our box to the next couple. And we gave it to them. It's like, yeah, you got other people in your marriage telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do and
Ooh,
how you should do it. I was thinking that's kind of cool. I hadn't really looked at it like that. So
yeah,
each
that's a
time we
good
went,
perspective.
yeah, and he's like, there's that gift. And then somebody had this little baby watermelon. It was so funny. He's like, put it in the box. And it smashed it. And it was like you crush your marriage because you're trying to fit stuff in your marriage that does not go there or into your I won't even
Mm,
just base it because not everybody's married, but your relationship. You're trying to fit something in your relationship that doesn't fit. And
yeah.
then, and then at that the next one we got like little baggies. And your little bag represent your baggage that you bring into your relationship. And then it had cute
Mm,
little t-shirts in it. And on your t-shirts, these are the little things that, whether it be depression or it be you get bored easy, or it's an adulterous past, or low self-esteem, your weight issues, money, balancing your money, different things like that. So those were things that later you didn't discuss in front of everybody, but you went home and you and your spouse are supposed to talk about these things that are kind of ailing you, or that are those are the things you wrote down. Why is this important? Why does this bother you, and how do we together make it work? But
I really love that.
so it was neat. I was like, okay. And it's just like how you value your marriage and how you value your person, puzzles, putting those puzzles together, and how my shirt fit with his shirt. What did it mean to you? What were you taught? I was raised by a single parent. Did you have this? Were you taught this? So if you didn't have a father in the home, how do you could learn from maybe a grandpa, uncle, but what if you didn't have those strong male role models? How are you supposed to look at your husband? Some people don't look
Right.
at him that way. They think my husband is, they're talking about that word submission. We
Mm.
think of submitting as in he's the master, you the slave, and that's not really
That
it,
is
you
not
know. And
hard pass on that.
yeah, I mean, because I can't lie. In the beginning, it was like when somebody said submit, you're like, what? in the world? Submit. I'm like,
Yeah,
he is the head of the house. Does that mean he's always right? No, it doesn't, but the biggest thing is he leading, is he using it as a godly household? Is it when he makes these things that are supposed to be best for the house, is he looking to God for this understanding versus it being, well, my grandpa did it like this?
yeah.
No.
Submission
So,
doesn't necessarily mean that you have the last word and
no.
you are always right.
It's more so respecting your husband and his decisions for your family. If it's coming from a godly place and it's coming from something that's going to be beneficial, not just him beneficial overall, and then vice
Exactly.
versa. It doesn't mean that he's submitting to you. It means that he respects you. He respects you and knowing, okay, there's some aspects that God gave me this woman because there's some things that I can't do that she can give to me, and then we can meet in the middle and make it work. But so many people get so upset about that word. Like, I'm not submitting to him. He can't tell me what to do. Just my money, this, my this.
Well, here's the thing. The Bible didn't say just the woman should submit either. We
Yes,
submit to each other.
exactly. And that's,
I think they leave that second part out.
but see, that's what when we were listening to that, that's what the guy said. He said, you read this part and you have just this part, but we don't read the whole thing. So it's like,
Exactly. You have to get the
how,
full perspective. You have to read the
yeah.
whole scripture.
That's kind of like taking a test and I read, okay, it said this word was in the question, but the whole definition is right here. And people don't look at
Exactly.
that because they're so quick to, base it off of this. Or I'm looking at, ooh, such and such's relationship looks really good and it's great, but I don't know what they got going on. I mean, because you can
And you
put up
don't know
that
what
facade.
it took for them to get there. They might have
Mhm,
been out of their struggle phase. I think society says that the first 7 years of a marriage is very tough.
mhm. It is. You're 7 this year. He's still alive and everything's still attached.
Right. Right. You're like, but did he die?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But one of the things that I look at is, you think about the growth. We talk about, when you talk about just self, how far you've grown. It's like, I'm not what I been through. I'm glad it doesn't
Mhm.
show on my face, but it's one of those things in your marriage because people do. You look at somebody and say, oh yeah, they look like they got it together. I remember having a moment. We were on our way to that same retreat where he made me mad in the truck. And we had a nice little drive to get there. So we got there, didn't talk to him, he didn't talk to me. Walk in church, everybody's like, hey, and we're like, hey, how you doing? Loving, hugging each other. And he gets to talking. And it was like, was the pastor in the car? Because he said, you have those times you get into it, and yeah, some of y'all get mad and you just won't say anything. You're just not budging, you get the quiet, the silent treatment. I'm like, dang, he was
Mhm.
in the car. But he
He was
said it's
like,
one of
he's
those things
talking
that,
to me.
right, it's like it's me all day. It's me. But
You can't
and
shut
I know
down
that
though. I think
you do, you
that's a
have to.
that's a killer. You can step back, but I think it's unfair for the other person if you shut down on them
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is. It is.
because
And it's
I don't
hard.
feel like you solve anything in that moment. Like,
You don't.
you can voice your opinion, but then when that party wants to have that break, take the break, but then you have to come back to it. You
You
can't
do.
just say, I want to push a pin in this and we're going to come back to it. And then it's like months later and
Never.
you didn't revisit
Yeah.
it because what the other person feels in place of that is resentment because
And
they're
they
going to
feel
feel like
devalued.
you
They
didn't
don't feel valued.
exactly, you
Yeah.
didn't care about them enough to really come back to the discussion. So
Hmm.
you're not validating them and you're not caring about their feelings towards the
Right.
issue. And I
Hmm.
think that's a lot of couples really miss that mark when they say, yeah, let's push a pin in it and they don't come back to it.
Yeah, that's the truth, because you have those times where you may do something and then later on you think about that person was right. And you're like, how do I say this? And they talk about the harder things to say is, you saying I love you and different things like that. But to be like, oh, he was right. I mean, and you're not saying, you know, and then some of the time you're being prideful and you're like, I don't want to say he was right. But then there's times where you want to say he's right, but then you don't want to hear, yeah, like he beating his chest saying I was right and you just didn't listen. But I mean, I know there's things with him that if he wasn't there's some things that I know that I've learned from him.
Mhm.
And there's some things that I hope he learned from me, but you know, but no, no, seriously, I just feel like, there's things that we look at, but sometimes we weren't taught those things, how to people weren't really taught to fight fair, to talk
Yeah.
and talk it out. And, we did an exercise where I feel when and it's going through that thing, because we don't ever echo that stuff back to each other. You say what you say, I say what I say, and then we just keep on going. But
Yeah.
to take that pause and say, I feel when you did this is what I heard. And then you repeat
That
what you
part.
heard. And then that gives them time to say, hey, that's not what I was saying. Well, this is the way I took it. So at that point, you can pause and say, okay, you didn't mean this, and I didn't mean it. Now now the time you can both be like, okay, I'm sorry, whatever, and go from there. But some people are so scared to say I'm sorry. But just apologizing doesn't mean you were wrong. It just means that you value that person enough to say, I get it,
I get
you
it.
know.
Exactly. And I think you touched on something really good there, because apologies is one of the most prideful things that people just feel like they just
Mhm,
cannot say.
mhm.
And I don't get it. I will apologize, one, because I want to validate my partner. Two,
Right.
because it's the right thing to do.
Mhm.
Three, 9 times out of 10, I probably need to apologize. Because
Right,
we're all
like,
human. We're showing
mhm,
up in these marriages and these relationships as our authentic selves, but we're also
mhm.
showing up with all the other people that we were in relationships with, right? So
Right.
we're bringing some of that trauma with us that we
Exactly.
hadn't really unpacked yet. And we find ourselves unpacking all of that in our relationships.
Mhm.
And sometimes unfortunately the partner gets it all.
Yes.
And so
And
when they're telling us, hey, whoa,
yes.
time out.
Mhm.
This is what I'm experiencing from you.
Yep.
It is only fair for the other person to step back and say, you know what? I'm so sorry. This has
Right.
nothing to do with you. I was triggered. You know, I haven't healed from that yet. And I think I
Mhm.
just lashed out. It's
I don't
okay, because I always feel that there's two people in this relationship. Well, unless you're a throuple or,
3
poly
people.
relationship.
It's 3, you, the Lord, and him.
Right. Well, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
in my marriage, that's who's in my marriage.
Yeah. I
Me,
mean,
him, and God.
because
But for the most part, when it's you and your partner, you have to really just
you do.
huddle up together. It's just the
Mhm.
two of you in that space. You need to just
Yep.
really put that coat over you and say, listen, let's that covering of protection is what I'm wanting to say. Let's
Yes.
protect each other. Let me validate what you're saying, because I actually love you. And I need you
True.
to apologize when I'm telling you that I don't like something. I'm not attacking you when I say that. I'm just telling you
Right.
that I don't like it, just to bring it to your attention, because sometimes we don't know that we're doing certain things, and
Mhm.
we don't know how people are receiving it, because we might be
True.
tapping into their trauma and don't know it. And
Mhm.
so when they bring it to us, we need to first listen to understand. Do not listen to respond. And I
Ooh,
think a lot of times people listen to
to
respond and they miss
respond.
the point. And then the person that's trying to make the point is so stressed out and frustrated, then you need to push a pin in it.
Yep, exactly. And that's the biggest thing. It's like I need to say my point. I need to make sure this, I need to make sure that. And I don't know if you ever seen it. I'm gonna find it and send it to you. But it was like a TikTok, but it was an old video. Oh God, I have wrote her name down. But she was talking to her husband and she said basically, and I may not say it right, so don't quote me, but she told him that when he's at work, they get this version of you, and then you come home and give me this version. I
Mm-hmm.
want that view. She said, you fake it for them at work, but then you come home and I get this. I get the ugly. I get the this. I get the raw. She said, I want the fake you. I'd rather you lie to me and be that person. So then
Right.
I'm being treated like them and I feel good about it. I get the other person because you're so comfortable with me and you just give me the ugly. I get the ugly. I get this. I get that. And then sometimes I'm getting the ugly that you probably should have gave to them, but I'm getting it.
But you're
And
getting it. And you're
yeah,
getting
so
it because they're not strong enough, or they feel like they can't give it to them.
mhm. Or it's kind of like the relationships that you see the men that are just, and I mean there's women that do it too, but if you're working with someone and he's very aggressive at work, and I'm not saying 9 times out of 10, but there's a percentage of time that if that man is overly chauvinistic at work, there's a strong woman at home that's got him by the you know who's,
Yep.
and she is running everything.
Yep.
And it's sad because you see him. and he's this, and this, and you're like, man, what is wrong with this man? Why is he married? He don't like
I
women.
had a
But
supervisor like that. I did. I had a supervisor like that. He was hell on wheels in the office. He was a short guy too.
oh, he had
And
Napoleon complex too.
and then it had like, I think it was like bring your spouse to work day, or and your kids or
Mhm.
whatever. And I think his wife came in and brought the kids, and he walked behind her with his head down like that.
Mm,
And I said, okay, that right
yeah.
there tells me
Hmm.
everything I need to know.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know, it's like
Hmm.
I understood. I was like, I get it. You
Yep.
have no control. I mean, she was talking to him hard and loud. Like he was like, she was such a dominant and he was such a submissive
Hmm.
that you could. And then, of course, the kids that they brought in were two girls. So he was just in the sea of women. I was like, oh, this poor guy.
And that's when he came to work and was like, I just don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like you.
Yeah,
Or I need to be in
he had
control.
wife
Yeah.
issues. You know, I don't know if that stemmed from mommy issues and that's why he ended up with that type of wife, but yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
wasn't happy at home, and he came at work and took it out on all of us because I didn't see
Hmm.
any reason that he needed to be so mean. She
Oh
probably
yeah.
know who I'm talking about if I remind her about it. I don't remember his name, but I remember that situation. He was just so mean for no reason.
Oh yeah, you run into I've been at the VA, I've run into one and it was just like it's this and women this and y'all this and then I met his wife. She was so sweet when I met her. I'm like, okay. And then we get them together. He's like, oh, she's this. And he's just like, I mean, he might as well have been down. Oh, I worship you. I did. And it's so funny because it's like, he's like, I wear the pants and I'm this and that. Then I
Mm.
met her. I'm like, hmm,
Mm.
okay.
Her
I'm gonna
pants
let
look
you be
like
that.
yours.
Yeah, man. But she clearly had on a skirt, but she was handling business. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And sometimes we have to, unfortunately, we show up with our masculine energy most of the times.
Mhm.
And I know
Mhm.
you and I, we've had private conversations. We have been the bosses in our world for so long. We had to
Mhm.
really carve that space out so that we can be in our feminine energy and let
Yeah.
those men lead. You know what I
And
mean?
it's still a struggle sometimes because there's
It
certain
always
times
most definitely a struggle.
like
It's most
you have
definitely a
those.
struggle. You still side eyeing stuff and maybe a little bit of micromanagement.
Uh-huh. Or it's one of those things. I think what did I mention? This house had a wonderful yard, huge. He said, "Who gonna help me grow? Who gonna help me mow this lawn?" I said, "I can help you do whatever. You don't know how to mow lawn, bruh." I was a single parent for how many years?
Right? Who
Lived
you
in a
think was
house.
mowing the lawn?
I was like, he was too little to mow the lawn, so who mowed the lawn? Me, trimming it. It was
Right.
tranquil. It was tranquil to me. But why do I have to do it when you can?
How about that? That's one of the things that I figured that I would let go.
Right. Quick. Here, have it.
Have at it. Well, the vibration doesn't work for me, so I don't like that feeling.
No, it
I
was
w-
good for me to just be able to be outside because sometimes you got to click. Look, you're not killing anybody, but you're like I got to get my head clear. I'm outside. I'm getting some air. It's exercise, but so I did it, and I mean, because you want your yard to look nice, you want this, and then you got tired of beforehand. It was this much, and now it's this much, and they don't even make it look like you want it, so you're out there doing touch ups to it anyway.
there you go. Exactly. I want to get into something real quick that has been a buzz. Um, so I am going to share my screen real quick
Okay,
because can you see it?
I can't see it yet. Hold on.
Oh, I guess I have to hit
Yes.
get me to doing what I'm supposed to do. There we go.
All right.
So since the Super Bowl, Usher
Mm-hmm.
and Alicia Keys has been big topic of conversation
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of people that were saying, hey, I'm not sure about this. Why is he holding her like that? It's inappropriate because she's married, you know? And you know, I've seen comments on both sides of the fence. Some people say, well, you know what? Actors do it. It's just part of the gig. They sang a song together. It's called My Boo. So they have to reenact. At the time when they made it, they were both single.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're lifing and life is different now. If actors can act, they're just doing it for the show. It's just
Mhm.
part of the show. How do you feel about this? Do you think the way he's holding her, and behind her, you think is inappropriate?
I don't feel like he's pressed up against her like he's trying to get some feels in or anything. Again, it's like actors. I mean, they do their videos. I mean, that's just like shoot. Her and the video with Maxwell, the
Mm-hmm.
fire we make. She was married then. She did the video. They were into each other. They were there. And it was this. I feel like people put too much of their own insecurities into stuff. Has her husband said anything about it? He defended her.
Well, and that's the thing, it's like Swiss Beats, I don't think he is, checking for Usher and, at any
No.
time. I don't think he is.
But you
I
have to
think
think about it. They've never been, I mean, Usher's had his share of controversy. Alicia, she had a little bit, and it was like the other thing. Now they're all co-parenting and doing their thing. And it just depends on your mental headspace. I mean, that goes along with your marriage or whatever. If your husband was an actor and he's out here kissing this woman, why would you be out here being this was his life. This is what's paying your bills and
and if
keeping
you
you where
met
you
it
at.
right, and if you met them that way, because her husband is also in the industry, so he understands it. So
Mhm.
I feel like if the husband is okay with it, I think everybody else should just get their life.
How do
Now,
you know he wasn't the person back there saying, okay, y'all got to do this? It's got to be believable. You can't be like, don't touch me. I mean, because like perfect video to bring into to compare is how Chris Brown and Sierra are. They're really, really good friends. But that video, How We Roll, they did
mhm.
their dance where they did whatever, but they, it's like they slid past each other. They still had their scenes, but they just went past each other. I still feel the same about that because people are like, oh, they're doing this. I mean, it was a scene. I mean, that if the thing lasted 15 minutes with everybody in there, y'all spent too much time focused on this little section right here
I'm
that
telling
they
you.
it's like they're acting out the thing. So it's like my boo. So I mean, she's supposed to act like he got cooties and walk away from it. Don't touch me. He's not trying
Exactly.
to grope her and hump her. They're friends and they did this. And I'm sure she probably talked to her husband about here's this way it's gonna be. And again, how do you know he wasn't the one behind the scenes saying y'all gotta make this look believable?
Well, and that's the thing. So Keisha Knight Pulliam, her husband, I can't remember what his name is, but they made a Christmas movie with another
Mm-hmm.
lady who was a friend of theirs, and Keisha was the producer. So she
Mm-hmm.
said when they ran the scene, they were not like, the lady was like hesitant about kissing her husband, and she was
Mm-hmm.
like, "What are you doing?" That's what Keisha said. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, listen, if you're gonna act the part, act the part. Like, stop
Right.
worrying about my feelings. Like, we're both actors. We get it. We're not. I know my husband ain't checking for you.
I mean, I'm perfect. I mean, it sounds real simple, but that's just like dancing. Say your husband like to dance and you do not, but he wants to dance and he's in that chair, he's moving, he's doing. Go dance. Go dance with that person. I mean, as long as y'all ain't dirty dancing and dropping it like it's hot, we
Right.
could. But at the same time, if you are secure in yourself and your relationship, he going home with you. Why are you worried about that?
Exactly. And
And
it's
we
it's
spend
just
too
that
much time
it's
worrying
just
about
that security in your relationship that you
it.
have to have, that you can go out and trust your spouse and make sure that you're not out here projecting all this negative energy. And
Right.
another thing, letting folks get in your ear about it.
And it goes back to when I was talking about the box. We give our marriage or our relationship to somebody else. And the girl, if that was me, I wouldn't be doing that. And I'm not saying because I've been the single friend with the married friend. And I just feel like, and I'd be devil's advocate. Look, how do you feel about it? It don't matter what I think about it. How do you feel about it? If you feel that he's being disrespectful, you have that conversation with him. It don't matter what I think, because you're gonna have all these friends. Girl, I seen your man. He was talking to such. He was hugging this person. Later on, you find out that's his cousin, but you was in your feelings about it. So
Right.
it's turned into this whole thing. You're arguing with this man because somebody spoke to him and she was cute, but you didn't know. Yeah, he got cute cousins too. So come on now.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Because you don't know who people are related to.
mhm,
I think I always say that the world would be a better place if people would just learn to mind their business.
exactly. Focus on what's going on in your fishbowl before you start jumping in somebody else's. So,
Exactly. Well,
but
as we get ready to close this down, Miss Lady, what sister wisdom are you going to be given on this Valentine's Day?
just enjoy your loved ones. I mean, it can be as simple as as the kids, a little carpet picnic. Just enjoy your time. It doesn't matter the size of the gift, the amount of the gift. The gift is the relationship that you have. Life is too short. Some of us are just falling off over and over again. I mean, it's like you wake up and you may not wake up. So every moment that you take a breath and you're able to see that person, even in a disagreement, there's a time to nip it in the bud. You don't go to sleep mad. It's easier said than done
Child.
sometimes, but there's those times that you have to stop because it could be that time that you're mad at your significant other, and in the middle of the night they have a heart attack and you wake up and you think I love them, but they didn't get to hear you say that because the last word you said was something ugly.
Yeah. And
So
then you have all that regret.
yeah, because I never got to say, and all I had to say was I was sorry, and it was the stupidest argument ever. So
Exactly.
just love, as how people say, work hard, play hard, love hard too. Love hard too.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love how you frame that up. And my Sister Wisdom Wednesday would be for the men and the women, because it is Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
Men, put effort into the gift. Okay, if you're gonna get a gift, then get a gift. Do not
Yes.
just go run out the same day of and go grab just any old thing. Like you said before, your spouse.
Hmm.
Your spouse. Get something that they will enjoy. Don't just get any old thing just to get her something.
Right.
Because, outside of the women that be like, you didn't get me the Jordans, or you didn't get me the earrings that I wanted, even though, you didn't get me the full carat. I wanted a full carat. You got me a half carat diamond ring. You know,
You got
there
a
are
carrot.
those
That's all
that are
that
out
matters.
there. But women, be grateful for what you
Hmm.
get. If your man is putting in the work and he's putting in the effort, do not give him a full court press to be doing all these extra things. Just be
Appreciate the little
grateful,
things because nobody
appreciate it.
owes you anything. You know.
Exactly. Appreciate it. And man, if you're going to get the gift, put the effort in, get the gift, pay attention to your partner. That's
and
all I'm going
and
to say.
and women, the same thing. If you're gonna get a gift, don't expect more than what you can produce. If you can't give that, don't ask for it. Because if you're
Exactly.
expecting a big gift, then he should get one too.
Exactly. And of course, just like you said, the gifts go both ways. It does go
Hmm.
both ways. It's always more of a pressure for the guy. But women, come on, go out there. If your man is out there doing, what he needs to do, and he's out there working hard for you and loving you every day, man, get him something nice. It's not
Right.
going to kill anybody.
Nah, it's not.
Well, all right, Miss Shira.
All
Well,
right.
this concludes our episode of Sister Wisdom Wednesday. For those of you that are in the Peoria area, um, well, before I get to that part, if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed so that you will know when the Save Our Sisters Unplugged podcast drops. Join our Facebook page. Well, join our Facebook group. There is a page as well. I'm also on LinkedIn under my government name, Norine Fahie. And I'm also on Instagram at Save Our Sisters _SOS. But the podcast is going to be live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and my personal Facebook page, because I need to be, just branching out there, right? And if you are in the city of Peoria, get your tickets for the Save Our Sisters Upgraded Mindset Luncheon. This year's theme is renewing our resilience, managing life after loss. And because we have so many different types of loss, we're going to cover them all. It's not just about loss of life. It could be loss of opportunities. It could be loss of self, because sometimes we get into relationships and we lose ourselves, right? And so we're going to explore more than one of those types of losses. We're going to have a couple of speakers out here. We're going to have some amazing speakers. I'm co-hosting this with my girl Keisha Woods. Erica Baird will be a speaker. Philanda James will be a speaker. I will be speaking myself. We will also be donating prom dresses to It Takes a Village, where Ms. Bernice Gordon Young is heading that up. There will be a representative there to collect those dresses. So make sure you get your tickets on Eventbrite early so that you would be able to secure your spot. Of course, we're serving a fabulous lunch. And we're also going to be celebrating two young ladies, and we're going to be gifting them with scholarships. So all you seniors out there that are, looking for scholarships, you've already applied and you're waiting for your acceptance letters, please go on the saveoursisters.net website and go to the donate tab and get that form, fill it out, send it in so that you would be in the runnings. You have until March 9th to do that. So I hope you guys, will come to the event. We have a lot of good things planned. I'm just excited about getting the dresses donated, and I'm excited about the scholarships, and I'm also excited about, just working with Miss Keisha Woods again from Upgraded Mindsets. And I just love the panel that we have because I think that it's going to be such a good discussion. And like I said, there is so many different ways that you can have loss. People normally focus on death, but there's so many different things that we lose. You can even lose your job. You can lose your mind, you can lose your peace of mind. And women that are going through the change, you can lose your youth. You can you can lose that tight booty that you used to. But I think in COVID, a lot of people had a lot of things going on. Women in the city are going through it, and so we want to just fellowship and just bring everybody together and just help each other up. We want you to leave uplifted. We want you to feel empowered. We're going to have vendors there as well. Those vendors will be announced shortly. You know, it's just going to be a full day from 12 to 3. It's going to be at the Eastport Banquet Center from 12 to 3, March 16th. So mark your calendars, get on Eventbrite, get your tickets. That way it's on your calendar. It's a done deal. So any last words, Ms. Shira Palmer?
No, I think we touched a lot. So I just say I'll conclude and we can talk again.
Well, all right. Well, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope that you guys enjoy your day and be grateful.
Very grateful.
Be very, very grateful and have a good time. I will talk to you in the next episode. Peace and blessings.